Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Happiest Hour on Earth. I'm your host, Chris.
And I'm your other host, Emily.
Tonight we have a very great episode, and I think it's one that will help a lot of people because we all love going to Disney. However, it is so expensive. Disney just announced some price increases. They do this every year, and it hurts every single year. They also just announced Lightning Lane Premier, which sounds amazing. However, it is $400. And so with all this talk about the expensive Disney trips that are going to be had in the future, we decided we needed to have an episode on the best ways that you can save money on your next Disney trip. And we cannot wait to talk about these. And it's not just our ideas. We put out this question to our listeners and they gave some really amazing ideas too. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this episode started. All right, so before we get started in this episode, if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button and that subscribe button. I believe we just surpassed 900 subs, which is really exciting. We're at 901, so there is a possibility we go back into that 800. Yeah. But hoping that we could have a little buffer. Yeah, let's get us to 1,000. That would mean so much. If you're listening on a podcasting platform, go ahead and click the 5-star buttons and the follow button, all that good stuff. It really helps out and it really means so much. And also, this is an episode about savings. We have partnered with a lot of different people to give you guys discounts on one thing we'll talk later, Disney tickets, another Disney clothing, Disney coffee, Disney scents, and also something non-Disney, but is just really cool if you're a fan of entertainment, audio, or reading. You could get a free 30-day trial with Audible. So definitely go check that out and enjoy. But let's get in here. I think there's two different sides of the spectrum, and we're going to try to find one that's right in the middle because we heard from a follower at the Baseman 1013 who said the best way to save at Disney is by not even going to Disney. And I guess that is right. Yeah, just don't even book the trip. You're going to be in for a lot of expenses. And then we also heard on the other side of the spectrum at Lulu B Buzzing Memories, who said, I wish I had saving tips, but I just have no willpower. I just buy it when I see it. And I'm like, we've been there too. But
Disney has that effect on people.
Ooh, yeah, you want to have a fun time. You want to just forget about that bank account. But tonight we are going to find that middle ground. How can you have fun at Disney? But also, what are some good ways to save? And so
there are ways.
There are ways. Some of these may be controversial, maybe you don't see it in your plan for Disney, but we're saying these because what may work for someone might not work for another person, vice versa. Something else may. So there's some good ones here. I'm really excited to jump into this. So our first one, you guys might not like this, but skip park hoppers. Now, I think it really depends on where you're going to, right? Disneyland, we get the itch when we're in Disneyland to upgrade to the park hopper because you could walk right across the way and go into California Adventure. And we like to do a full day at Disneyland because we just get to soak up all there is to do there. California Adventure does make it a little bit harder to do a full day, just one park. However, we have done it in the past and it gives you the opportunity to soak up the atmosphere, but also experience some things that you normally wouldn't do, right? California Adventure or maybe Hollywood Studios, wherever you're going, may have less rides. However, there are other activities that you could enjoy. If you did all the rides, you could go to the art of animation or something and learn to draw a character. There's other things that.
There's ways to spend your time in California Adventure.
And this may be a little more applicable at Walt Disney World. It does take longer to get from park to park. So I think for here, just focus on one park per day and you get to save some money. So just to break down some numbers here, depending on the number of days you go, a park hopper can range from like an extra $65 to $105 per person. Now that's not per day. That's just total for your entire trip. But
that's
let's say, let's say it's about $80 more a person and you're going with someone else, right? Like a partner or something like that. So $80 more for two people. That's $160 more that you're adding on top of your trip. Think about it. You don't need to do that and you can save some extra money. But
Yeah.
That's the first one. Skip the park hoppers. And number 2.
Number 2 is going to be rope dropping rather than buying lightning lanes.
And major shout out to @FamTravelFolio who brought this one up because we always do that. We always go in early. However, I didn't really think about it as a money saving tip until she brought it up. So huge shout out to her, but it is so true.
We have experienced personally that going in the morning, getting there as early as you can to knock out rides is the best course of action to get as many rides done as you can.
For sure.
Without having to pay that extra fee per day for lightning lane. The morning is really just the best time to be there. Yes, it can be hard to like get yourself up and out and get in there by rope drop. But the earlier you go, the better. I would have to say the park gets more and more crowded the later you try to enter. I mean, we've
usually around like 10:30.
10:30 to 11.
You hit your favorite rides up early in the morning, then you could do other things as it gets a little bit later. Yeah. And so to bring the money aspect into it as well, lightning lanes do vary by price, but average it's about $30 a day per person. So if we are looking at 2 people for 2 days, that's an extra $120. And of course, $240 if you're having 4 people. So our third one here is to visit during the off seasons. And so we heard this from @Disney Travel Tales and @Dreaming of Disney podcast. So thank you for sending those in. Disney is always going to be expensive, but choosing to go during the week, not the weekends, because prices do vary and fluctuate, depending on the day. Going during the week and going during slower months, usually like January to February or maybe September when kids are back in school, you are going to be able to save a little extra cash, and not only on the tickets, but on the hotels as well.
Yeah.
So, and probably the flights if you're flying in. So overall, that should bring your cost down. You just have to be very cautious about the weather. Disneyland, it's a little bit easier. There's still some rainy seasons down in LA. However, for Disney World, it gets a little crazier.
With Florida, though, that it almost isn't even dependent on what time of the year.
It'll just go crazy no matter what.
Those rainstorms can hit at any moment. The humidity's always there. You don't really have to even question whether or not it's going to be raining at some point during your trip. That's just kind of how things go in Disney World.
Yeah, I just got to embrace it.
Yeah, Disneyland is generally more on the hot side, especially if you're going in the summer. But if you're planning it earlier in the year or mid to later in the year, they're going to be a little bit easier to plan for weather-wise.
Yeah. And when you go during the off season too, Disney is always crowded. You're never going to find a time where it's not really crowded, but it could be slightly less crowded, right after the holidays and in January, before President's Day or something like that. So fewer crowds does mean shorter lines, meaning you get more bang for your buck money-wise.
All right, moving on to our number 4 tip. This one came with a lot of responses from our Instagram
Our
followers.
love this one.
Yeah, this is a good tip. So it's going to be bringing your own meals or snacks into the park rather than buying solely 3 meals plus snacks in the park. Disney food is delicious, we all know, but it definitely adds up cost-wise, especially if you're going for multiple days. So we generally, I feel like, choose breakfast if we're going to choose something to eat outside of the park because we want to get in there early, get to our rides and, get started with our day, not wait around as much for a meal. That was definitely a suggestion from a lot of people. We heard from @Paige_Brightly, @It's Lauren_Renee, @Just_Shiano, and @MWheeler1023. They all recommended bringing snacks or meals into the park.
And you could kind of blend this, right? Like Disney food is such a huge experience when you're in the park. So maybe substituting, 1 meal, maybe 2 if you want, but still, reserve the right to have that one delicious Disney meal.
Yeah.
You could also, like you said, bring your own snacks. You could also bring in your own water, which is great. Also,
props to Disney for allowing that, because there's a lot of theme parks and just places similar that aren't going to let you bring food in. They're going to make you buy food there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a big plus with Disney. You can bring in any food or drink you want. Not any. That's not true. You can bring in water and I think any food that you want.
Yeah.
So.
And I think the snack one is really big if you're traveling with kids as well.
Oh my gosh.
Because,
so important.
your kids have their favorite kind of snacks. And so, they could munch off of your snack if you want to get a churro or like a pretzel or something like that. But for the most part, they're going to want their like pouches and their all that stuff. And if you pay for a snack and they don't like it, then that's money wasted. Yeah.
Yes.
So
been
crazy.
Through that.
Oh yeah, we've totally been through that.
Another tip on this topic is a comment that we got from a follower at Holly Cairo, who said ordering groceries for your room. And I've heard this before, specifically in Disney World, but I think
I'm sure you could do it at
go,
Disneyland too. Yeah.
Yeah. You can have groceries delivered so that you don't have to
Everything
take up extra time. Yeah. Buy everything in the park or go out
Oh.
yourself to buy groceries and bring
Yeah.
them back to your hotel room. It's pretty convenient that you can have stuff delivered right to your door.
Yeah. And I think one of the main ways that people do this, I think you can do it with like Amazon Prime.
I think
like
that's
the
what I had
fresh.
heard.
Yeah, you could do that. I think they did add like a service charge to that or something like that. But what some people do is they will sign up for like a free 30-day trial to Walmart Plus. And I don't think there's that extra fee. And so you have your groceries delivered straight to your room. So you could have things for breakfast, a little muffin as you get out and try to get on the bus. I think this is a great tip for, going to Walt Disney World. It just seems more like destination, right? You're very far away from other grocery stores, where in Disneyland, you're pretty close. But let's say you fly in, you go straight to your hotel and you don't want to leave, just get them delivered straight to your room. And so, especially Walt Disney World, I would be more inclined, if I'm spending more days, to substitute in like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something like that here and there. So I still get that yummy Disney food. But when I'm going to Disneyland for like 2-3 days, we usually tend to buy everything in the park. But we do have a couple more food tips here, and one that we really use a lot after this next one, which is number 5. And so we have not done this, but we heard from some followers, and I was like, this is a great idea. So if you still want to eat in the park, you're like, I'm not making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I just want to eat all the food in the park because it's delicious. And you're still trying to save, though. Utilize some Disney restaurant hacks. And so we heard from some people here. We heard from at Mrs.Smith8324, who said kids meals at quick service restaurants serve as a full adult meal, and you get 2 sides instead of 1. And so I didn't really know that. It might be, I'm trying to think when we bought kids meals for our son. Yeah, they may be like slightly smaller, but if they come with 2 sides, I think that definitely could fill you up. We also heard from at Hollow Queen. Oh, I just got that. That's kid 716 who said kids meals. So she said the exact same thing. So I guess it is kind of worth it. They are cheaper, of course, but you get a decently similar size meal. Yeah. We also heard from at Planned Disney with Jill, who said share adult size meals. So I was thinking about this too. You could always bring in your sandwich, get 1 meal. So you're, cutting that cost in half, and you split it with the person you're with, here, have a little bite of peanut butter and jelly, and then we'll get the delicious food too.
It's your appetizer.
Yeah, it's the appetizer. And so I think these are some great ways that you could still enjoy and indulge in the Disney food, but keep it a little more cost effective. So quick service restaurants, though, that's what I heard, that you could do the kids meals for an adult. I think at a table service, and they don't see kids, and you're like, I'll get the kids chicken nuggets. They may be like, what? But the cool thing about quick service restaurants, if you're a little embarrassed to order a kids meal, you could order it all in the app. So you just kind of go up once it's ready, grab it, and don't have to say, I'll have the kids, pizza, and there's no kid around you. So you could definitely do that in the app. Our last food tip, we're not all just talking about food, by the way, but this is our last one, because I think
it's a good way to save. Food is definitely a pricey thing.
Definitely a pricey thing. And this one is huge. Hit us off with number 6.
Now we know that this is one of the best hacks.
Yeah.
So there are free filtered water and unfiltered water stations located all throughout the park.
And the cool thing is, not just filtered water stations, but any quick service restaurant you could just go up to, ask them for iced water, and you get it for free. So
you can get it, put it in your own bottle if you want. You could probably even grab a couple of waters and just fill it up. So that way you're not paying. What is it now? Is it
I don't know. It must be like $5 for a bottle of water.
Bottle of water.
So quick service, get that ice water for free. And then also as you're out and about and you're not near a quick service, filtered water stations.
Yeah.
Not at every water fountain, but a good amount.
Yeah. I'd say there's quite a few. So we heard from at Meg Crofton, at Kat Beck 1021, at Live Learn Dream Magic, and at Bootsy 319 on this.
Yeah, they know what's up.
Yeah,
they know what's up. It's
definitely a good tip. It's such a good tip.
Now we're moving on to number 7, and I think this is such an interesting one. Takes a little bit more work, but I think if you plan it out ahead of time, it could actually save you a good amount of money.
Helpful.
So we're talking Disney gift card hacks. And so our first one is a little less hacky, but I think it's a great one if you could think about it in time. So if your birthday's coming up or Christmas or some sort of big event, ask for your gift Disney gift cards. I mean, if multiple people give you Disney gift cards, or, maybe it's your kid's birthday or something like that, get a couple of those. And that could actually, depending on how many people give it to you and how much they give, could almost pay for like one ticket, depending. And so I think that's great because you could use your Disney gift cards on Disneyland tickets or Disney World tickets, or actually when you're in the park, you could buy your food with Disney gift cards. You could buy a lot. One thing too is that you can, well, actually, let me get into the second tip and then I'll tell you, because I think this is a great one. But we heard from at Magic King Dad. He was the one who said to ask for those cards leading up to your trip, for your birthday and holiday. And I think that's absolutely amazing. But if you don't have a birthday coming up, or maybe you're just too nervous to ask for a Disney gift card because you're an adult and you don't want, people to think of you as a child. Yeah. But we're all Disney adults here, right? Whether you're a kid or a Disney adult, this is a safe place for you. Okay. No judgment here. We all love Disney. But this next tip is crazy. You can buy Disney gift cards with a Target Red card. So I'm sure you guys know about the Red card, but if you don't, I used to have to give the pitch because I worked at Target a long time ago and I was a very bad salesman. But you can get a credit card version of it, but we have just the debit card version. So it like links up to your checking account. So there's no fees, there's no nothing, there's no debt racked up on it. You're just using it like a regular debit card. But you can get Disney gift cards here. So if you buy $100 worth of Disney gift cards, you just save $5. If you're doing a 3-day park hopper for 2 people, that will be around $1,000. Well, if you buy $1,000 worth of Disney gift cards with your Red card, you just save $50 because you get 5% off your entire purchase. So
$50
is $50. And the other cool thing that we heard from a friend who we'll actually talk about in a little bit is that you could use Disney gift cards for a cruise. So if you're going to be spending even more than just Disney tickets, right? I wonder if you could do this can you pay for a Disney hotel with Disney gift card? Probably. But if you could also do Disney cruises. So let's say you have multiple thousands of dollars, use that Target Red card and you're saving, 100, maybe 200, depending. So really, really good tips here. And then so gift cards, huge hacks, and then some more tips that we heard from our listeners. So we heard from at the Bucktails who told us about the Red card. She chimed in there. We also heard from at Magical Travels with Chelsea who said the same thing. Now this is interesting. At Meg Crofton said, get Disney gift cards to help with budget. If you don't want to go overboard and over what your set budget is, you could put them all put a designated amount on Disney gift cards and know that you have that limited amount. So that could help money-wise in a different way. Mr. Make It Magical from the Make It Magical podcast, another great friend of ours, another Disney podcast. Yep. He said, buy Disney gift cards at the store because generally you get better points there than at Disney. So a little credit card point saving tip there. And then I love this last one too. At the Park Hop Dad said, buy gift cards in advance to spread out the cost and get discounts. And so this is cool. When you're buying Disney tickets for your entire family, you're spending $1,000 or even more, right? And it's hard to drop all of that at once. And so he's recommending do 25 here, another 25 here, 50 here. It's a little bit easier to manage than dropping it all at once. Yeah.
But you're at least kind of starting the process of like
chipping away at the total cost.
Yeah, getting that money down ahead of time.
Yeah. I love that one so much. So yeah, Disney gift card hacks. Who would know? Pretty amazing.
Never would have known.
Oh, I'm going to get this next one here too. So our number 8 is to be kind of picky with souvenirs. We all love souvenirs, but there's multiple ways you could do this. You could either, if you want some Disney clothing you want to wear at the park, instead of going to the park and buying like a Spirit jersey there or something like that, they're usually more expensive in the park. So if you want to wear it during your trip, you could always go shop Disney, see what discounts are going on site.
Like
ahead of time. Yeah. And then buy, you could get, a lot more discounts online than you can actually in the park. So that's one thing, if you want to get a cute stuffed animal for your kid, if you find a deal online, and then, once you get through those gates, you could surprise them with it there. So you're still giving it to them like at the park instead of getting something at the stores there and maybe paying a little bit more. We like to stick to like one souvenir per person. And so we, rather than just buying everything, buying something when we find it, and then the next day we find something even better and all that stuff, we usually like to just window shop,
for the
get
first
all of what we know.
So.
Yeah. Know exactly what we want by the end and then make that purchase then, rather than like, oh, I bought that thing the other day, but I really want to buy it here.
And we do the same for our son. Yeah. As our son gets older and he wants everything he sees in the park. Those kid toys are absurdly expensive. We're learning.
Run out of Mickey's Runaway Railway really fast, because oh my gosh, they drop you right into the store and they're all such cool toys. We literally
spent $50 on a little car, a little like remote control Mickey car that he barely used, and he lost the Mickey to literally that day.
Yeah.
Money goes quickly on kid toys in Disney. So we're very picky with him now. We will let him kind of look around. We'll let him like see something that he likes. We'll be like, okay, we'll remember that one.
You could only get one. Pick one.
Let's like look around a little bit, see if you see anything you want more. And if you don't, then we'll come back and get that. So this last trip, he got a lightsaber because he's really into Star Wars. And that was his special gift.
It was not the Savvy's Workshop lightsaber.
Yes, not that one.
Saved some money there.
It was like the $30 one, which is, a lot more digestible.
Doable, yeah.
$200, but
for sure.
And we do the same. We usually pick either like a coffee mug or not really even clothing, because we know too many good like small shops now that we usually get our clothing from.
Yeah,
but
for sure. Which, by the way, if you want to check out a small shop, Park Hop Tees, if you find a shirt on there that you like, use our code happiest15 and save 15% off. Just got to drop that in there.
They've got the best shirts.
Yeah.
Subtle Dust is another great Disney tea brand that we love. There's so many. If you need Rex, we've got you.
For sure.
But yeah, that's kind of besides the point. We do usually pick one souvenir each. And then food we tend to splurge more on. So I think the key here is like, choose what thing is going to be more important to you. Like getting a whole bunch of souvenirs and like bringing in your own food to the park, or enjoying food and drinks and, keeping the souvenirs a little bit smaller. I think you kind of have to just choose what's more your thing when you're in the park. For sure.
And we actually had a tip here from our listener who at Karanesh, I think, or Karan Esh. I don't know. Whenever they're smushed together, I'm like, where's the break here? But yeah, Karanesh. That one, I think that makes more sense. She said only buy park exclusive souvenirs because the others you can find on sale online. And so this is great too, right? You're like, if you can find something cheaper online, do that and get the park exclusive ones when you're actually in the park, because you can't find those anywhere else. So yeah, that was a great tip there. But
that is a good tip.
Moving on, we are almost done. We have 2 more. Do you want to get number 9 here?
Yes, number 9 is going to be using a travel planner for free. Yeah. I never ever knew that using a travel planner was a free service.
Yeah,
you don't have to pay the planner. Disney pays the planner to help you plan your trip, which is amazing. We haven't utilized this ourselves yet. Definitely next time we go to Disney World.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is like, we've gone to Disneyland our entire lives. And so we just know what we're going to do and we do it right. But like, I'm more nervous. It'd still be great. Yeah. But I'm more nervous. And like, even if I did know Walt Disney World front and back, there's so much to do. So I would definitely be utilizing that as well.
Yeah.
And you help out someone too, because they get paid.
Exactly. Yes, we know a specific one at Plan Disney with Jill, who we had on the show like probably around this time last year.
Yes, it was episode 95 or something like that. So just search
go to the 90s.
The Happiest Hour on Earth at Plan Disney with Jill, and you should be able to find it because she had a lot of great tips outside of money saving travel tips as well.
And that was her tip as well on here, was to use a travel agent because they will price monitor for you, which is amazing because you don't want to necessarily have to keep checking back to see price differences over the course of weeks or months of planning. To have someone doing that for you and helping you get things booked, make your reservations, do all those things, and make it like the most effective for you, time and cost wise.
The cool thing is too is and we know so many travel planners. I know, we know a lot. But Plan Disney with Jill is absolutely amazing. We had her on the show. We had such a fun time with her. But the cool thing is that if you want a reservation at Oga's or Lamplight Lounge or be our guest, they will be the ones to do it for you. You don't have to get on right at 6. So it's really someone else plans your trip at no extra cost. So it's less stress and more magic, right? And the cool thing is more magic and more savings. The cool thing is they could retroactively apply discounts. So let's say you make a trip October 29th when we're filming this, but in 3 months, they have a great deal. Well, they're looking at all these deals coming through. And so they could just say, boom, I just saved you, a couple $100. I remember she told us a story where she saved someone like so much money. And so, they do everything though. Disneyland, Walt Disney World, cruises. So definitely use a travel planner, help support them at no extra cost for you and save some money. So that's a huge one.
That is a big one.
Definitely go check out that episode we have with her. So amazing. And so this last one here we got for number 10 is check some deal sites out. We heard from our friend actually at Chris Alert, and he told us that because he went to Walt Disney World for his honeymoon and he found a really amazing deal at Costco. And so if you are a Costco membership, I actually looked at the deals. We are not Costco members, so we haven't actually, done this, but we've heard from multiple people that Costco has some amazing deals. Some are savings, but some are also like, oh, you pay the same price, but we give you a Disney gift card to use in the parks. So there's multiple different fun deals like that, and it adds up to a lot of different savings. So definitely go check out that. But if you're not a Costco member, or maybe you're just trying to look at different options to see what's going to be your best bet, you could use sites like Getaway Today. My family's been using Getaway Today like ever since I was a kid.
Yeah,
we have a link in our description below. And so you could click that. And so you could save on tickets. It's usually like a few bucks off depending on the amount of days you're going. But they have like all the promos there. So they have like hotel deals and everything you need to know when it comes to deals with Disneyland tickets right on their homepage. But the best place to save is by bundling it with a hotel. And so we've checked the like hotel and ticket bundling options, and they have some really good ones there, like in that area. And you get some really good deals on there. So definitely go check that out. You could price check it with Priceline and like Walt Disney World or Disneyland for the tickets. And I've always seen that it comes out, to less. So definitely check that out. Also, if you do a bundle and save like hotel and tickets, if you use our code HappiestHour with the H's capitalized, you save an extra $10. So savings on already good savings. Every dollar counts.
It does. And it's like, if you're already going to be booking it elsewhere, you might as well just book there and just get that's like random $10.
2 churros.
Yeah.
Go into the park and get 2 extra churros on us. So definitely do that and try to see what deals they have. Another note on that, once you do find a hotel or ticket bundle or just the tickets, if you're on the page summary page and you scroll down, there's a place where you could add a promo code. So you could put that there. And then right above that, they usually like automatically add a peace of mind plan. And so if you are that type of person who wants travel insurance just in case something goes wrong, you could leave it on there, or you could remove it if you're being a little more price conscious. But just some notes there to just make, your trip as magical as possible. So in order to just kind of break this down again, number 1, skip park hoppers, really just soak up each park each day. Number 2, rope drop to avoid buying lightning lane. Number 3, visit during the off seasons. 4, bring your own meals. 5, Disney restaurant hacks. Get that kid meal if you want. And then you could substitute it with a snack later if you get hungry, right? Number 6, free water at quick service restaurants and filtered water stations. You could put that in your reusable cup. Disney gift card hacks for number 7. Number 8, be picky with souvenirs because they add up. Number 9, use a travel planner for free. And then number 10, check some deal sites out. We really hope that this will help you save money on the next Disney vacation that you plan to take. Save money, add the savings, add the magic, all of that. We know it's so rough.
The way that things are going, man, the costs just keep rising as Disney keep jacking those prices up. So anywhere you can save money, you might as well do it. So hopefully this list was helpful to some of you listening as you maybe are planning your trips.
Yeah, if you know someone else who's planning a trip as well, definitely feel free to send this video along to help them out. That's what it's all about, this Disney community, just helping supporting each other, sharing in the Disney magic, nerding out on all things Disney together. And so we thank you so much for listening in and all your support. It means so much to us. But we will catch you next week for another episode of the Happiest Hour on Earth. We'll see you then.
See you then,
Bye,
guys. Bye.